She wrote her book in cafés with no money. J.K. Rowling, one of the most famous authors in the world, was not born into wealth or fame, and her journey to success was full of struggles, doubts, and obstacles that could have stopped many people. But she never gave up on her dream of writing stories that would touch hearts and inspire generations. She grew up in England, loved reading and imagining magical worlds from a very young age, and as a child she would write her own stories, creating characters and adventures in notebooks, daydreaming about places that did not exist, and developing a love for the power of words. But life was not always easy, and even though she was smart and creative, she faced moments of sadness and difficulty that made her stronger and more determined to pursue her passion. As a young adult, she married, but the marriage did not last, and she became a single mother, facing divorce and the challenge of raising her daughter alone while struggling financially, often relying on welfare and facing long days filled with worry about rent, bills, and feeding her child. Yet she refused to let these difficulties stop her from writing, believing that her story could make a difference and that every word she wrote brought her closer to her dream. She would take her young daughter with her to small cafés, carrying notebooks, pens, and her imagination, and spend hours writing the first Harry Potter book, ignoring the cold, the noise, and the people around her, because in her mind she was creating a world of magic, friendship, courage, and adventure that would one day be loved by millions. And even though she often felt depressed and overwhelmed by the challenges of daily life, she kept writing, pouring her heart into every chapter, every character, every magical detail, believing in the story, even when no one else could see its potential. After finishing her manuscript for the first book, J.K. Rowling faced a new challenge, finding a publisher who would believe in her story. And this part of her journey was not easy at all, because the manuscript was rejected 12 times by different publishers, each rejection letter threatening to end her dream and crush her confidence. And many people in her position would have given up, thinking that maybe their story was not good enough or that the world was not ready for it. But Rowling continued to persevere, sending her manuscript to the next publisher, rewriting and improving parts of it, learning from feedback, and refusing to let disappointment stop her. She believed deeply that her story mattered, that the magical world she had created was worth sharing, and that children and adults around the world could find hope, joy, and inspiration in her writing. And finally, after many months of persistence, a small publisher, Bloomsbury, agreed to print her book, giving her a chance to see her dream come to life. And the moment the first copies were printed, Rowling began to feel that all her struggles had been steps along the path to success, proving that determination and belief in oneself can overcome even the hardest obstacles. Once the first Harry Potter book reached the public, the story began to grow in popularity, and people quickly fell in love with the magical world she had created, the characters, their struggles, their friendships, and the lessons of courage, loyalty, and hope that were woven into every page. What started as a single book became the beginning of a series that would captivate millions of readers around the world, from children discovering the joy of reading for the first time to adults reconnecting with their sense of wonder. And the books soon became global phenomena, translated into many languages, inspiring movies, theme parks, and merchandise, making J.K. Rowling a household name and a symbol of what is possible when someone refuses to give up on their dreams. Rowling's journey teaches us many lessons that go beyond writing and books. Her life shows that even in moments of extreme hardship, when life seems unfair and hopeless, it is possible to create something extraordinary through perseverance, patience, and belief in oneself. because she wrote her book in cafés with little money, often hungry or tired, yet her vision for the story never faded, and every rejection letter became a motivation to try again, proving that failure is not the opposite of success, but part of the journey toward it, and that your story, no matter how small or hidden, matters and can have an impact on millions of lives when you dare to share it. Even after achieving immense success, Rowling remained a symbol of hope and resilience, showing that wealth and fame are not the most important outcomes of hard work, but the ability to touch lives, to inspire imagination, and to give people hope is what truly matters. Because she turned her personal struggles, her loneliness, her depression, and her fears into fuel for creativity, demonstrating that challenges can be transformed into strength when you focus on your purpose and never give up. And her story continues to inspire writers, dreamers, and anyone facing obstacles to believe in themselves and to work tirelessly towards their goals, understanding that even when the world doubts you, your story can be powerful, meaningful, and capable of changing the world in ways you cannot yet imagine, making J.K. Rowling not just a successful author, but a true example of resilience, courage, and the power of believing in your dreams.